Hello, my friends, and welcome to the first episode of Inside the DebtBlackHole. I'm your host, Dave Hilton. This is a video show, basically, where I talk about personal finance, I talk about geek culture, and sometimes I combine the two. Now, if you'd like to be a guest, I invite you to apply. You can do that on our website at DebtBlackHole.com. You can also contact me via Twitter. I'd love to have you as a guest if you're interested in personal finance, if you're interested in geek culture, maybe you're a sci-fi author, maybe you're an actor or a comic book artist. Those are the kinds of people that I'm interested in interviewing and talking to here on Inside the Debt Black Hole. Now, in this first episode, I'm going to talk about collectibles because I recently read a post on the Money Beagle website where they were talking about kryptonite, basically clutter, having a stuff, do you have that room, do you have that specific space that's always cluttered? And I was sitting here thinking about, well, when it comes to geek culture, what is our kryptonite? It's collecting things. We can't help it. We go to conventions, we go and see different things, and we collect many, many different things. And I know I've heard a lot of stuff, and this is the personal finance side of today's show. I've heard a lot of people say, people don't have money. I've seen those newscasts talking about that people aren't saving as much money, that our net worth is dropping. But I can tell you, people still have money, and people are still spending money on collectibles. I was reading another story about Heritage Auctions recently back in May, sold that #1 Batman comic issue for a record-breaking $850,000. That's a lot of money to spend on one comic book. I know it's an investment. It was an investment firm it was an investment partnership that actually bought the comic book. But there is value in collectibles. Not everything. I mean, I still have all of my Star Wars stuff. I still have all of my G.I. Joe and my He-Man and my Thundercats from when I was a kid. A lot of that stuff, not worth too much. But there are collectibles out there that you can do. Now, my kryptonite, going back to what we were talking about, Money Beagle, is collecting things specifically from Stargate. Stargate, the movie Stargate SG-1. I have an entire wall dedicated in my media room just for Stargate stuff. Now, one of the things I have is a Zat gun. That's what I bought. I bought that a couple of years ago. I also have, autographed pictures of different actors from Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, Stargate Universe. I also have pictures of me with some of those actors from those shows that I've met at different conventions. So I am a sucker when it comes to Stargate stuff. That's my thing. That's my kryptonite when it comes to collecting stuff. Now, I have another good friend who, if it's anything about Star Wars, that's what he collects. He's got an entire room in his house dedicated to all of his Star Wars stuff. So we have this kryptonite thing when you're a geek where you have to collect certain things. And, I mean, it's not just for geeks either. I mean, I know people who do sporting memorabilia. I mean, everybody has their kryptonite when it comes to collecting things. But I'm trying to figure out how much are you willing to spend on your geek collectibles? Because, as I said, $850,000 for a Batman #1 from Heritage Auctions, which Heritage Auctions, here's the scary thing, is right down the street here in Dallas from where I am. And if I ever saw on their website that they had some Stargate stuff, I'd probably spend a lot more money than I need to. I've also found online, I've bought a couple of things, including a piece of the Stargate, not the Stargate itself, but, the part that goes in front of it from Legends Memorabilia, which is located in Canada. In fact, I'll put the link down below. But they have one of the tiles from the Time Loop machine that you can buy from one of my favorite episodes, Window of Opportunity. And you can actually buy that, and it's in a little placard. You can hang it up on the wall, and I think that would look awesome on my wall. And every time I look at their website, I'm constantly tempted to click purchase on that. Because, again, it's my kryptonite to collect those kinds of things. Now, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, I saw the release from the HBO store that came out and said, hey, you can buy that Throne of Westeros. If you want that, the Throne of Westeros, if you have an extra $32,000, yeah, you can buy that. You can actually buy that. Now, the actual cost is $30,000 for the throne itself. It weighs like 350 pounds, and the other $2,000 is just for shipping to get it to your house. So if you have an extra $32,000 just sitting around, you have nothing to do with, and you want to buy your own Game of Throne of Westeros, you have the opportunity to do so on the HBO store. So my question for you today in this first episode of Inside the Debt Black Hole is, what is your collecting kryptonite? And again, I have to give credit to Money Beagle for coming up with the kryptonite idea and putting that little meme in my head. So what is your collectible kryptonite? What can you just not escape. You cannot avoid whenever something comes up that you're always tempted to buy that specific thing. So that's my question for you today. Leave your comments down below. And again, if you want details about Inside the Debt Black Hole or the website, check it out, DebtBlackHole.com. Thanks for watching.